scale. The exponential age is that moment when multiple technologies that were all enabled essentially by the internet all layer on top of each other and go to mass adoption phase all at the same time. Crypto was the first of these technologies. If you also think that mobile phone was the other technology that built on top of the internet and fiber optic cables, that led to the rise of crypto. Crypto got to 400 million users in record time versus any other technology in history. So that was the fastest adoption of any technology the world had ever seen. And luckily, because of the way crypto is built from the ground up, you get participation in that network adoption by owning parts of those networks, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, whatever it may be. But also at the same time, there were a number of other technologies. I first wrote about this I can't remember, it was I think maybe March or April 2021. And I said, well, what is coming is AI, robotics, space, Internet of Things, genetic sciences, distributed computing, quantum computing, and all of these things. And over the next 10 years, all of these things are going to experience Metcalfe's law roughly at the same time. Some will be later, like quantum. I didn't know what was going to come first. EV is another one. And when you put Metcalfe's laws that are all intermingled with each other, because they all build on top of each other, you get something called Reed's law. Reed's law is essentially Metcalfe's law squared. With Metcalfe's law, you need a logarithmic chart for. Reed's law is preposterous because it makes logarithmic charts look like linear charts. So I actually asked ChatGPT this the other day. I said, is there any examples in human history of Reed's law? And nothing in technology has that ever happened before. It's actually only happened in biology. So this is something that is going to be the fastest pace of change of technology and probably the fabric of society and how economies are structured in all of humanity in the shortest period of time. And, we've seen that. I think people are starting to get their heads around it once you saw AI explode onto the scene in the fastest adoption of any technology ever. It got to 100 million users in 5 years on a forward-looking basis, and I have been excited and been very long crypto all year, and tech. Tech's had an amazing year. Our exponential age basket from global macro investors up 50% this year as well. So technology's had a really stunningly good year. I still think it ends the rest of the year stronger, that this has just been a corrective, cheeky 10% correction, shake out the weak holders as we move forward as liquidity rises. So I'm looking forward to a real exponential age 2 years ahead, 2024, 2025, where we see both technology stocks and we see crypto really doing well. And crypto is usually the fastest horse in the race. It's more about changing sources of energy. We're seeing the massive growth of the Internet of Things and wearables. We're seeing AR and VR. Apple and Meta have both hit the accelerator button on that. By next year, Apple will have rolled this out to hundreds of millions of people. So we're in this extraordinary period of change. It's the most exciting period in human history. We're lucky to be alive, but it's also terrifying. But part of my exponential age thesis has been blockchain technology. It is the way that value and contracts and storage and all of this stuff needs to happen in a digital age. It's the technology that enables this digital age that we're hurtling into. And the adoption is coming faster and faster. We're now seeing most of the financial system openly working on using this, from everything from equity settlements to cash settlements to payment transfers to credit card transfers. We're seeing giant brands starting to adopt it in the space. People like Starbucks having their on-chain loyalty programs that we've talked about on Real Vision. We're seeing fashion brands, Adidas and people like that adopting the technology. We're seeing whole nations adopting the technology. We're seeing the investment community starting to adopt the technology. So it's a very exciting point.
Embracing an unyielding enthusiasm for the crypto realm, Raoul confidently predicts that explosive growth is looming on the horizon, as BlackRock and many other crypto giants are doing just that. Pal reassures that a long-expected surge awaits, leading up to the highly anticipated 2024 halving event for Bitcoin.
And what makes it more exciting is we are in both macro spring and crypto spring. Well, macro spring only on the forward-looking indicators. Currently, we're still in kind of macro winter, where we might get final weak GDP numbers into this quarter and next quarter. But the forward-looking stuff says we're going to come through the other side sooner rather than later. While inflation, etc., still keeps declining and unemployment probably ticks up. But crypto markets are forward-looking, much like technology stocks are, because these are secular trends and they're long-term growth stories. And those markets bottomed with global liquidity back in last year. ETH was first in June 2022, followed by the halving, which coincides with the macro cycle, the everything code, where everybody reset interest rates in 2008 at 0%. They kind of meant that nobody had to pay their interest payments. And then what we've had, everybody reset their debts between 3 and 5 years, every major government, and that rolling of debts every 4 years coincides with the Bitcoin halving, is the global economic cycle. It corresponds with the ISM, it corresponds with crypto price action, corresponds with equity price action, all of these things. It's also the same as the election cycle. They're all one big cycle now. And we're at the point in the cycle where assets tend to do really well. So I'm very excited on a forward-looking basis, and I have been excited and been very long crypto all year, and tech. Tech's had an amazing year. Our exponential age basket from global macro investors up 50% this year as well. So technology's had a really stunningly good year. I still think it ends the rest of the year stronger. That this has just been a corrective, cheeky 10% correction, shake out the weak holders as we move forward as liquidity rises. So I'm looking forward to a real exponential age 2 years ahead, 2024, 2025, where we see both technology stocks and we see crypto really doing well. And crypto is usually the fastest horse in the race. It's more